and welcome everyone. We are gathered for another Knowledge Bolide Hangout sponsored by Topherspin Meteorites. And we're going to do a little bit of show and tell, very little learning today, so relax, very little. I'm going to show something off that I'm going to test the crew. Is it a meteorite or is it not a meteorite? Then we have a viewer question that we're going to answer about Seymchan iron. Yeah, Seymchan iron. I thought it was a Pallasite. Sue will talk about that. Mesosiderite show and tell and Pallasite show and tell. Let's look at this first one here and tell me, is this a meteorite? Okay. No one was expecting it to look like that, were you? That looks like a brain.
I say no.
We have one vote for no meteorite. Do I have any other?
Probably not, but it could be Mesosiderite-like. But
my initial thought is no.
Okay, we got a lot of no's.
Has this been treated with acid to test for etching?
It has not been acid etched. I don't believe so.
Could be native iron too. From Russia.
Yeah, Hobo Mineral says looks native.
I also vote not a meteorite.
Yeah. Well, I'm super glad that one of our Patreon submitters didn't test us with this, because this is in fact a meteorite.
Wow.
This is a very, very weak or very, very unique iron. Dang it, I just forgot. I think it's rich on sulfides. So this is a Chinese one. There's not much of it available. It's sulfide rich. It's terpan 003 pairing. And it was a very kind gift from Yang Shengcheng. There's only 98 grams total known weight of the original. This is a pairing of it. But look at that. That is beautiful.
That's quite interesting, Topher, because I remember one time recently you showed one that almost looked like that. That's why I jumped it and said no right away. Yeah.
Yep. See.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought native iron.
Mm-hmm. When I first looked at it, I'm like, what the hell is that? It does not look like a 3AB at all. Yeah, so there are
the silicates too. We're kind of screaming at.
Yeah, you see that? Super interesting. But when you look at it, at times you can see like a graphite nodule from a Canyon Diablo would kind of look like that a little bit. It's a very, very interesting meteorite, a very rare one, even though it's a common classification. So just shows you the variety of meteorites out there, and it's nice to take a look at them all. And I absolutely love this one. This one is so complex and so super cool. I'm very glad that I have this. And Yang, thank you very much. I'm very glad that our sale helped you out. Look at that. And of course, I have it sealed with some desiccant, so it'll be safe. But yeah, that's super freaking awesome. I think that's all I wanted to show right now. So I think we're going to go to answering a viewer question with Sue. Sue, do you want to introduce the question or you want me to?
I can introduce it. It's fine.
Go for it.
All right. So we have, I'm just going to refer to him as John, a recent new customer who is putting together specific ways to display his meteorites, and he's coming up with different examples of the classifications. And he asked us, what do you think about me using a Seymchan as an example of an Iron IIE? And, immediately I thought, well, no, it's a Pallasite PMG. But I thought, well, why are you asking that? Do you not have it? Do you not have one of those? And I started looking, and I told him I'll talk about it with the crew and see what they think. And he's just really curious to hear what your opinions are. So what I looked up, and Topher said keep it under a minute. So this is what I found. I thought, is there just not enough 2E? Well, I look up Seymchan, and it originally was uh, classified, I think, as an iron, then an iron 2E, then an iron ungrouped, then a Pallasite PMG. So I thought, well, if you're going to use it as an iron example, to me, it would make the most sense if you were going to do that, use it as the most recent iron, which is ungrouped iron. And I thought, well, there's enough ungrouped iron out there that you should just probably grab one of the, the ones that is actually officially an ungrouped iron. If he was still stuck on the 2E, there's only 17 of those. 15 of them are non-Antarctic. I think 3 of them are under 100 grams. 4 of them are under a kilogram. 2 are from the 1800s. 9 of them are from the 1900s, which leaves, like, I think the ones that we're only familiar were Watson 001, and there's almost 100 kilograms of that, and Miles. I think Miles, even though there's 265 kilograms out there, I think that was hard to find because I think you were really excited about getting one recently, weren't you, Topher?
Yeah, I got my piece and I love it.
So my thought is I would stick to finding, using Seymchan as a Pallasite PMG example, or finding a more Pallasite looking Pallasite. I don't think it makes sense to use it as an iron 2E, but that's my opinion. I want to see what everybody else thinks.
Awesome. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate the intro and your opinion. And Bruce has an opinion as well.
Yeah. As Sue said, Seymchan was originally classified as an iron because that's what they found. Originally it was just iron, and then I guess as the classification got a little better, that's when it went to 2E. But my understanding is it went to ungrouped when they started to see the transitional point to a Pallasite before becoming Pallasite Pallasite main group?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you had a piece that was just iron, then I don't see I would probably list it as 2E. I don't see that much of an issue. And honestly, I don't know what the difference would be between the 2E and the ungrouped, other than the fact that you started to get see the transition. I have a transition piece someplace, but it's I think it's just the way that the history progressed on that particular stone. It was it was just I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the timeline, but I think it was years that it was believed to just be an iron before they found the Pallasite.
So you're saying if you found a siderite piece, one that's just full metal, great etch, no silicates, and that was originally what they looked at and classified as a 2E, you would say that's okay to use as a 2E. But when they started finding more with silicates and transitional, and then all Pallasite, that's when they went to ungrouped and then Pallasite. So that's where that kind of breaks for you.
Right. Yeah. And if you want to really drive yourself crazy, if you're setting up a display so you can go from the iron 2E, get a transitional piece of Seymchan, and then get a full Pallasite Seymchan, and have the 3 of them there side by side and really show off what was going on.
That's a baller move. That's a Brucer move. Thank you very much.
That makes so much sense. I didn't really think about the fact it wasn't the composition of the iron changing. It was the fact that they were finding the transitional pieces, which is why they went from the 2E to the ungrouped. And I did not think about that before. So it was a great point to bring up, Bruce. And you're right. It was found in 1967. And I don't think they changed it to the iron 2E until like 2000. And then the last few changes were all from like 2000 to 2006 or something like that. But yeah, for a few decades, it was just an iron.
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is on these changes, but look, we just had the CVs, getting more detailed. As science has changed, it's like, so do you go back and redo all your CVs? No, it's like whatever it was at that time, and kind of go forward from there.
Yeah,
we have an opinion from Chris, and he's probably going to say it should be classified as a Pallasite 2E. But what do you?
That's actually a good point.
I know.
I guess for me, just my personal opinion, it also matters the context in which you're using it. So if you're trying to show an example to one of your friends or a group of kids what a 2E iron looks like, chemical composition between a 2E iron and the iron in Seymchan is close enough or almost identical enough that it was classified as a 2E iron. Now, if you were selling it as a 2E iron, I think you enter into this moral dilemma of that is not what the Met Bull says it's classified as. So if you're just looking for an example of what a 2E iron would look like, and you have a piece of Seymchan that represents that, to visually show somebody and teach them what a 2E iron looks like, I think it's reasonable to say, this is an example of a 2E iron.
Wow. I love you, Chris. That was poignant and well done. And I love the fact that you looked at it from two different approaches, from two different points of view. There's two different answers, because there's not just one answer. And that's what we're trying to get at, where people have opinions on it. And I thought yours was, you can't see me, or the camera can't see me, but I'm shooting these at the screen the whole time you were talking, man. Pat Brown, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so we have to be a little careful about anomalous, because anomalous just means it doesn't fit. But according to Nykirk et al. From a paper from 2007, Seymchan was declared anomalous due to its high iridium content. And so, there's a bunch of different reasons that something can be anomalous. Sometimes it's oxygen isotope ratios, metallic content. In this case, there's many different reasons for that catch-all.
Yeah, I was just guessing at, based on the timeline.
This is fantastic discussion. Sue, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see that much meat on this bone. Good job.
Well, I know. I remember when I asked you and you said, nope, Pallasite PMG. That's it. And I'm like, well, let's look at it from a different point of view.
I have to be honest with you, Chris did a really good job of pointing it out from two different points of views. As a reseller, I'm cut and dry. I'm black and white. I'm Met Bull or die. So, but the collector, this is an eclectic collection of collectors. How about that? I think we are going to move on to some show and tell, and we have a couple of the crew members going to show us some stuff. But first, I'm going to be able to show you some Mesosiderites. All right. There was a famous Mesosiderite that fell in America called Estherville, and it fell in Iowa. This is my little small sample. It's a A3/4. It's 1 of 1. And I want to show it to you out of the package. And then I want to show you an imposter, a Mesosiderite that kind of looks, it's the closest Mesosiderite I've seen to looking like an Estherville. So it is my Estherville imposter. This is the real Estherville. Witness Mesosiderite. Usually about half silicates, half metal. And now this is, like I said, from Iowa. Now this one here is El Milhas from Mauritania. So it's an A3, not an A3/4. So it's 1 of 15. There's just under 1.2 kilos, and I called it my NWA Estherville. This is in my collection. I can do whatever I want with it. But take a look at this. This is gorgeous. Tell me that doesn't look like Estherville.
We need to etch it.
No, you need to etch it for me. Yeah.
Are you selling it?
This is my personal collection, baby, but I do have more. The other ones are bigger.
Really interesting texture to the iron in that one.
Yes. This is the day of the weird looking irons. I showed you the first one from Yang. That was weird. This is another weird one, but super beautiful. So this is my NWA Estherville. And I'll be honest with you, if you want a piece of it, the main mass holder is Brett Cohen Joseph, or Brett Joseph, whatever his name is. And he'll hook you up with a piece. I don't need to be involved.
Oh, I just sent him a message asking how much inventory he has left.
Yeah, see?
Now.
We're all
He's
about
he's in
helping.
the Knowledge Ballite crew group.
Yeah, we're all about helping our friends. All right, so that is my beautiful piece that I can now show off with pride next to my Estherville. Boom, boom, boom.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. That is the Mesosiderites that I wanted to show off. We are going to be switching to Pallasites now, I believe. So Pallasites with Dave is the new segment we're calling this. How are you, buddy?
Oh boy. Oh. I have one. I don't have a lot. What I have is it's from Seymchan. Okay, do you see it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is a slice of Seymchan, 20.1 grams. It is etched. I had purchased this some years back at a mineral show in Costa Mesa from Exotics Minerals of Russia. I've gotten a lot of stuff from them. And this one's just really beautiful. For some reason in the picture, the green crystals didn't look as green. I tried playing with the white balance, but for some reason, it's a little more green than that. But the crystals are really, really nice. The one thing I'm not sure of, there's right where my cursor is, there's this dark part of the iron here. It's almost black. I've seen that on others, and I was hoping to get from anybody else in the crew that would know what that is. I've seen that on etched pallasites before. Typical of the Seymchan, you have these really angular crystals.
Fractured, highly fractured crystals.
Really highly fractured. I mean, you really see a lot of violence that went on towards that core. Unlike spring water where they're kind of more rounded.
Yeah.
These are very angular. And so this is my entry in the Pallasite show here.
I'm glad
Beautiful.
you entered it. I will tell you, it's a beautiful piece. I already talked about this. Most stunning feature for me was the exaggerated violence in the olivines. That's just beautiful. That's what grabbed my attention.
Oh yeah.
You asked about that dark spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to let someone else jump in and be wrong. No, I'm going to go ahead and say it's a oh my God, I just blanked out. Not Camasite. Chromite.
Yeah, I think exactly the same thing, Topher. That looks like chromite, that very dark yet somewhat metallic appearance.
Yeah. It's just another added. It's a beauty mark. It's here. Meteorite has a mole. A very beautiful mole.
It's almost part of the crystal structure, and it's just a black crystal almost.
Yep. Yeah, very. And you can see it has like it's broken up into little scales. That's really that's a closer for me for chromite. So
one other particularly beautiful thing about this slice is the contrast between very angular olivine crystals and others with smooth rounded sides.
Yeah, there's a nice round one here, round one here. All this is round. There is a ton of detail in each meteorite, man. Thank you so much, Dave. I really appreciate you sharing that one with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ooh, we got Marissa. Conception Junction? Say what? Marissa's going to check in with us. So Conception Junction, Admire, and Brahin. Oh, she's three for three today. What you got going on?
My Pallasites are not very big because these are quite expensive.
Whoa.
But they are very beautiful. This is my Admire, and it is 16.2 grams.
I like
it. Has a cool pattern.
Yeah, I was pretty blown away. I bought this from Steve Arnold of Meteorite Men, and I just had to get one, and looking at every little bit of olivine just smashed to bits.
It's a river of tiny fragments shoved between bigger olivines that they came from, probably.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Admire. I mean, I sure do love the metal in Pallasites, especially when it's etched, because it's so pretty up against those gemmy olivines. But Admire is one of the most oliviniest Pallasites I can think of.
Yeah, Steve Arnold also has used some of those and faceted those olivine crystals as gemstones, because there's like the one in kind of the bottom left is like a candidate for that, because there's no cracks in that one.
That's beautiful, Marissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it with it backlit, because always have to backlight them and
Yeah.
see that beautiful olivine shine.
Oh, that is I love that example. For me, my favorite thing in this one is the small bits of olivine in the metal you can just, again, another violent, evidence of violence in the universe.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, another Admire.
No, this is Brahin.
Oh, wow. That is, look at the contrast of the etch on the bottom. Well, anywhere, but geez.
Beautiful etch.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to, obviously backlight it again, because it's got a lot of orange. Orange and yellows, and there might be a green right here.
And not to go too far down a rabbit hole, but the olivine changes color as magnesium is depleted out of it. So if it's magnesium rich, you're going to have greener, and as it gets depleted, it goes to more honey and then tans.
And this one is 14.7 grams. I've got other photos of it there we go.
There you have it.
Oh, looks like it's got a little fire inside of it.
Yeah.
The rich orangey reddish.
All of the beautiful honey shades. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is gorgeous. And, again, Pallasites are so expensive, and rightfully so, because you've got that pretty olivine popping out and all that metal. And this is about as expensive as I could go at the time.
Brahin is a pretty cool one, Marissa. I think you already know this, but the strewn field for Brahin is actually was contaminated by the Chernobyl accident. So for 25 years plus, they weren't able to hunt the strewn field. No, they weren't able to safely hunt the strewn field. I should say that. They didn't hunt it for years, but then they eventually got in there. But it's just now been opened up again. So literally, I was expecting more Brahin to come and hit the market in the last couple of years, but I haven't really seen a whole lot. So this is a nice one.
Yeah, you don't see it out there a lot anymore. I got this one from Arrowite Meteorites, and they both have been holding up pretty well. Another risk anybody takes with getting any iron or Pallasite is the iron rusting. And that's another reason why I don't want to go too big with getting a Pallasite, because I'm always worried they're going to rust in my humid, wet climate up here. And so I think these are pretty reasonable sizes you can see the olivine in the metal, but it won't be a complete loss if they end up rusting and I can't save them. And the last one, there is Conception Junction.
There you have it. So it's weird. You showed 3 Pallasites today, and all 3 of them are American.
No, Brahin is from Belarus.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
You're thinking of Brenham.
Brenham. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, Admire is from Kansas, and Conception Junction is from Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Tim
Jim will
knows.
correct me if I'm wrong. I know for sure. Wow, That is amazing. It's beautiful. I love that diamond pattern in the metal down there on the bottom corner.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's Schreiber's site. Can I get anyone to agree or disagree? Or is there not enough information? Okay. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to you on that, Marissa, okay?
And that's the other
Oh, wow.
side.
You know, whoever got the piece next to that one is cursing the day that you stole their olivine. That's like getting the pepperoni from the piece next to you.
Yeah, I'm
Just
I'm
keeping
pretty
it
happy
real.
to
Yeah.
have
Awesome.
this one because there's not much of Conception Junction out
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Hard to get.
Wow.
And this
Fantastic.
is only a 3.5 gram piece, but it's just enough to see olivine and metal.
Makes me want to etch mine. Mine's not etched. That one's beautiful. Thank you very much, Marissa. I really appreciate you not constantly, but continually sharing your collection with us. And you know, that's one of the great things about collectors of any size. You're able to collect anything of interest within your budget. You know, and there's people that sell and collect micros all the way up to showpieces. So never talk about the size of your mediums in a derogatory way. They're all hand samples. Our next show and tell. Ooh, mystery Jim. Jim has a mystery for us.
My local rock club has a geologist that's breaking up his collection of minerals, and he had this pallasite in his collection, and I bought it from him, and he has no information on it. I bought it because I'm going to use it as a hand sample for outreach. This is 17 grams. This side is etched, the other side is polished, and I'm going to backlight it.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
You can see that some of the olivine is green, some of it's kind of an orangish honey colored, and it varies, but I'm guessing it could be Seymchan. I don't really care. What do you guys think?
What's the scale on?
1 centimeter.
Okay.
One of the really cool things about irons, and hence with the Pallasites, is that their trace metal content is oftentimes fairly unique. So it may be that you can do, even with that XRF gun, do trace mineral or trace metal analysis and be able to shorten the list anyhow.
Okay.
Do you guys think that the pattern in the metal looks like Seymchan metal though? Like to me, it didn't jump out as Seymchan like to me.
No, if I had an opinion to ring in on this, I would say it's a high quality piece of. I'm gonna go ahead and say Saracho.
Someone just guessed Saracho. Jules did in the chat too.
Okay.
One diagnostic is that the olivines are really rounded.
Yes. Brenham is like that.
And the size of them too. It's
Well, let's look at the metal as well. That's what I'm looking at the olivine, yes, but the metal as well.
I just flipped it over.
The olivines look much more green on that side, and a really cool triple junction near the center of the top there.
Way more green. Yeah, it looks like a
Yeah.
different meteorite on this side almost.
I'm gonna go in a completely different direction than you guys. I think that this is, my guess is it's possibly spring water.
Yeah, is
Water,
that what you were
okay.
thinking?
Spring water, or I also think it's very close to Brenham.
I was gonna say I'm a Brenham way more than spring water, I think.
I'll tell you what, when you turn the lights on, it looks like, remind me of a Christmas tree.
All right, now let's look at a Saracho and a spring water.
What is that? A spring water?
Yes. Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
You tell me.
Yes.
Yes.
Jeez Louise.
Round
Right.
crystals,
Yeah.
the same kind of etch in the pattern with the dark grays and the light colored rims.
Do you have a scale cube that we can compare the sizes of the crystals
Please
to?
don't.
But do you see the colors as well of the olivines are
Yeah,
matching?
colors.
Now,
Yeah.
this one right here is Seymchan.
Yeah.
See,
To me,
too many olivines close together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jim's looks more like spring water than the
Spring
Seymchan.
water, yeah.
Definitely spring water, yeah.
Wow, there you have it, folks.
Oh, what
Thank
about
you.
a Brenham, babe? Do you have a Brenham available?
Yeah, but it's not etched. I just have this small one.
See, rounded, and
ooh,
the
wow, it actually looks more like that than the spring water, I think.
etch is very similar between the two.
I think the crystals are a lot nicer on the spring water.
Oh yeah.
Sure, but now let's look at
Matches the
Jim's.
other one, yeah. The other one has very nice crystals. The Brenham's crystals seemed a bit more cloudy and such.
These olivines right here look like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
One feature that you're seeing there in this video is that spring water is probably clear coated, and the other one is not. So that also enhances the colors of those crystals.
Now let's take a look at a Brenham. I don't know.
I still say the crystals are better or clearer on the meteorite we're comparing it to.
I definitely agree that spring water has better, more clear, not as shocked crystals. But the etch is very similar in this Brenham.
Yeah. Wow. That's one that we might have to, excuse me, we might have to follow up more on in order to make a 100% confident decision.
Oh, I have to share that Topher was opening a gift from someone and he likes to take his time and draw it out. And I was going to open the next meteorite and he's like, wait a minute. And then he turned the paper over and it said for Sue. And I'm like, I don't have to wait. I'm like,
This is an absolutely 100% stunning Pallasite gift to my beautiful wife from Yang. We did some work with him a couple weeks ago, and he's very generous and showed his appreciation with some meteorites. And he knows Sue loves Pallasites, so he got her this one. And you're, by the way, it's an end cut, and you're looking at the ugly side.
Not the ugly side. Yeah, I usually don't go crazy over the external side, but oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
It's bursting with gems.
Yeah, it is.
That
Was I
side,
joking
that
or
other
not,
side,
guys?
oh my gosh.
Was I joking or not? Yeah, it's gorgeous. Look at all those olivines in there.
It's missing some of the features, but that's almost like Hacial Abode level.
Mm.
Wow.
Maybe Allison could put that and make it a necklace for Sue.
No kidding. That's gorgeous.
All right. As you can see, I have meteorites all around me. It's a beautiful place to be. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this show and tell from our crew, a little bit of discussion about how we view classifying irons and pallasites and just a little insight into our mind. Oh my God. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. Good night, everyone.